Hello, everybody. Just me, Lawrence here. Um, Today I'm here to talk about, well, this video is specifically aimed towards teens. That's why I'm the only one here, because I'd hesitate to call my mother a teen. Um, Anyways, so all of what's going on, I mean, obviously has a lot of people not in a great place, or just generally not feeling too great, whatever you'd like to call it. Well, I'd say what's going on is affecting even people who weren't already depressed, who have now, become depressed. What's going on is a horrible situation, and, it's or affecting people, it's really negatively affecting people who were already depressed, and in some cases, some people who weren't depressed are now becoming depressed. And that's more or less what I'm here to talk about today. So first of all, I'd like to address people who, depression is new to. Because of what's going on. I'd say that there's a lot that needs to be considered. And to start off, depression being felt now because of what's going on, people who didn't already have it feeling it now, is what's usually referred to as situational depression, excuse me. It's based off of what's going on. It doesn't have maybe it doesn't have a clinical basis. However, one of the biggest things to keep in mind is that situational depression can become permanent. There are some things that should be kept in mind during this time about, things you can do. Which is, even if, you can't go outside, go to the doctor, you can still talk to professionals over Zoom or whatever. Because, even if you have your friends and family to talk to, which is great, it is still a good idea to maybe seek out a professional. And even in some cases, during this time, it might be a good idea to look into taking antidepressants. And, for people that are new to depression, this is definitely a frightening time, and that's completely understandable. And unfortunately, it may be just as frightening as it seems. In the case of people who, have already been struggling with depression, this has definitely, I'd imagine, worsened it. This is a bad situation. And the advice I gave prior to people who maybe weren't already depressed still stands if you haven't explored those routes. Therapy, possible medication. It's a good idea to, if you haven't explored those routes before, this is definitely the time to do so, because things are bad. And it's not going to let up, I'd say, for a bit. Now, I'm going to get into some, a category that's a little in between the two, which is what I'm going through personally, which is, people that have depression, but they've been, feeling better recently. I have been feeling pretty good for, oh, Jesus, how long has it been? Maybe last year or so, I started feeling better, and then this year I started feeling, a bit worse. But this has put me in definitely a really bad state. Personally, I started taking antidepressants again a while ago. I personally am really having a hard time, especially with school. I can't focus, and I actually had to remove myself from my classes because I can't focus on them because I am really not in the right mental state. Now, I'd wager that I'm not the only person going through this. Definitely not. But in the case that you are somebody who is going through the same thing, remember, it's not a failure. You're not, failing, getting better or something. This is a very bad situation. I know I've said that, but this is awful. And it is completely understandable if you're suffering. I certainly am. And, you know, I've been talking about this the whole video, but therapy and medication. If, you know, you were on a good, something, if you were recovering and you maybe stopped medication or stopped therapy, that this is definitely the time to look back and say, maybe I should start this again, if it's to the point where you would like to. Me, for example, I've been on medication for a while because even a while back I was struggling, having some issues, but I'm now considering going back to therapy because this has put myself in a pretty bad state. And yeah, I'd imagine, as I said earlier, I'm not the only one going through something similar. It's tough, and at this point, unavoidable for a lot of people. But, you know, I mean, obviously, it goes without saying this is going to end eventually, and, you know, that's going to be a great thing, and I can't wait for when it does so I can see my friends and, you know, stop being extremely stressed out. But, well, I don't think that's going to change. But yeah, I definitely can imagine a lot of people are being really negatively affected by this. I know people who are, besides myself, of course. And yeah, this is a tough situation. And I definitely think that there are a lot of people out there dealing with issues, and that's fine. It's not a you know, failure of yourself, or, you know, necessarily a thing you did wrong or something. This, I feel like I'm repeating myself. This is a horrible situation, and a lot of people are probably really going through some stuff. Now, this has probably been shorter than I wanted it to be, but that's probably because I don't have my mother's ability to seemingly actually know what to say, because I don't script my videos at all. I don't even usually think of an outline for what I want to say. I kind of just turn on the camera and just say what comes to mind. Yeah, my mom usually actually has some idea of what she wants to say. I don't. I really should change that. In any case, I hope that you found this video helpful in some way. You can like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, obviously. If you want to say anything, you can leave it in the form of a comment. And subscribe if you want to see more like this. I would hope you do. I would hope this content is good. But in any case, I hope that you have a nice day.